to Art and Yoga from Home, brought to you by Munson Williams Proctor Arts Institute in Utica, New York. I'm Mary Murray. I'm the curator of modern and contemporary art. It's my great pleasure to participate in this program, and I'm very pleased you've joined as well. I'll begin with a chat about a work of art in the museum's collection, a 4-color lithograph by John Quick-to-See Smith, and at 10:30 yoga practice begins. Please do make a donation, and that will help us continue to bring this class to you. Thank you. We've seen in recent weeks some interesting developments in civil rights for American Indians. It seems that we have come to the end of the era for racist stereotypes for professional sports teams. The Washington Redskins, for instance, are considering changing their name to something like the Washington Warriors. Thanks to efforts of organizations like Change the Mascot, led by the Oneida Nation here in central New York. The United States Supreme Court has ended its session this year with a ruling that upholds an 1866 treaty with the Muskogee Creek Nation that designates most of Oklahoma as sovereign Indian territory. This is a legal decision, but poet laureate Joy Harjo, who is a member of this nation, recently wrote an opinion piece in the New York Times, and she says, quote, that it's about validity, personhood, humanity, the assertion of our human rights as indigenous peoples, and our right to exist. And finally, in the art world, the National Gallery of Art in Washington, D.C. has announced that it recently acquired its very first work of art by an American Indian artist, John Quick-to-See Smith. So let's look at Munson Williams Proctor's lithograph. Smith was born on the Flathead Reservation in Montana in 1940. She now lives in the American Southwest. Before even as a child, she was always making things with mud and sticks and maybe leaves, other things from nature. As a mature artist, she uses her art to celebrate her heritage and to perhaps correct the historical record, to demonstrate the treatment of American Indians at the hands of Europeans after what she calls the Great Invasion of 1492 and subsequently the United States government. Her work very much claims personhood as being self-determined and not as designated by the dominant culture. In one of her paintings, titled States Names, it's in the Smithsonian's American Art Museum in Washington. Quick-to-See Smith shows a map of the United States, and she has eradicated all of the European names and includes only the native names of the states. In this image, Black Rock Mesa, Smith unites her training as an artist from the Western European and American tradition using a certain kind of abstraction and expressive use of materials, dripping ink, for instance, and she unites that with subject matter from her own heritage. At the center of the composition, there are 2 white horses. Her father was a horse trader, and horses remain beloved to her. And these beautiful silhouettes are surrounded by other signs from nature, the clay red silhouette of the cactus and leaves and seed pods. there is scratched in the look of a teepee. And at the upper left, it looks as if these are designs or maybe petroglyphs from ancient culture. This composition, to my eye, strikes me as being a landscape of the imagination, perhaps a cosmology. And for me, it demonstrates that the culture of the Indian nations and the land in which they exist are completely unified. Thank you so much for joining me, and please keep safe, keep well, and until next time, namaste.